In a dim-lit tavern, smoke in the air, I gathered my friends with stories to share. We rolled out the dice, our hearts beating fast, in a world of magic where legends are cast. Fortunes favor the bold, or so they say. With a roll of the dice, we will find our way. Cards on the table, fate in our hands. In this life of fantasy, together we stand. Through dungeons we wander with courage our guide. The thrill of adventure we'd never subside. With each unearthed secret and each cautious step, we chase down our futures on every chance left. Fortunes favor the bold, or so they say. With a roll of the dice, we will find our way. Cards on the table, fate in our hands. In this life of fantasy, together we stand. We summoned our courage as the lanterns dimmed. A beholder lurking with intentions grim. With blades at the ready and incantations strong, the taste of vengeance, we will right the wrong. Fortunes favor the bold, or so they say. With a roll of the dice, we will find our way. Cards on the table, fate in our hands. In this life of fantasy, together we stand. The bard sang a shanty of battles won and lost. As laughter echoed, we counted the cost. We dined upon a feast at the spit and grease. The smell of ale and the fires warm below. We gathered our party, ready to go. Fortunes favor the bold, or so they say. With a roll of the dice, we will find our way. Cards on the table, fate in our hands. In this life of fantasy, together we stand. So here's to the warriors, the magic and might. To friends who stand tall through every dark night. With a toast to the journey and mugs in the air, we'll write our own story with fortunes laid bare. Fortunes favor the bold, or so they say. With a roll of the dice, we'll find our way. Cards on the table, fate in our hands. In this life of fantasy, together we stand. So let's gather again under starlit skies, with echoes of laughter and our dreams on the rise. In this tale of legends, where magic is spun, we will keep rolling the fates till our journey is done. Let's see here. I'm trying to make sure. Backgrounds. All right. Aha! Goodbye, Neverwinter. All right, and so camera view size. Let's try and make that a bit bigger. Yeah, that's about as big as that's gonna get. All right.
There we go. Whee!
Move that. Let's see here. Show. Bada bing. I have to resize him. Come on. No. God damn it. Every time I accidentally double click on something, it takes me to the corner of the map. Background. Son of a bitch! Well, no, not unlock. Show. There we go. Fuck. Alright. So, bada bing, bada bing. Snap to player's view. I also need to resize. Down real quick.
Oh, that's Diane? Fuck is
I mean, it's just the general Warforged token I have.
Warforged are that human-like?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
They can be.
That's upsetting. I don't know if I like that.
Diane, you'll notice, has more like a general features. Like, think of like kind of like a metal skull almost, but not like detailed and bony, very much like smoothed over, you know?
Don't know if I like that.
It's got two eyes, mouth. As you would typically find for, someone like that. I mean, hey, at least I'm not making them, like, wear human skin and call themselves human. Like,
Did you
My
say
name is
this
Hugh.
thing had two mouths?
what?
Is that what I heard?
2 mouths?
I heard 2 eyes, mouths.
2 eyes and a mouth.
Oh. Okay.
Normal human features.
Yes.
Okay. I was concerned.
I
But-
too am human and have eyes and a mouth.
Yep. But, like I said, 2 fingers and a thumb on each hand. Like, yeah.
Call my hand.
Yes, you can. Mewtwo has that.
Does he?
Yeah. Making fun of... Are you talking shit on Mewtwo?
Mewtwo's are more like 3 individual fingers, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's the same kind of...
Concept.
Doesn't matter. He can kill you with his mind.
That's true. Imagine Mewtwo just grabbing you by the fucking face and choking you out.
Or he can, throw you up against a metal wall and break your spine, and then your Pikachu has to cry and revive you.
And he chokes you out.
What?
And then he chokes you out with his hands.
Yeah.
Look, Ash was willing to throw hands, okay? That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
I mean, he was willing to just straight up fucking punch him. Like,
Literally throw hands.
yeah.
Are we, we're still on our way to Oakhurst right now?
We are essentially, you all have arrived in Oakhurst.
Okay. As we walk into the town, Diane and I are speaking about not having 5 fingers on each hand because I only have 3 and a thumb. I think. Hang on.
You think or you
I-
know?
Are you going to take a second to confirm this?
Yeah. Because I might have
Alright.
just made that up. I don't know.
He just fucking prestidigitations his hand just to try and start a conversation.
No, I'm very friendly and I just like to talk to everybody about everything.
Yeah.
And I see he also doesn't have 5 fingies.
Also, for reference, Adam, more like this.
Hmm.
Yeah, Warforged are cool.
Yeah. That's a bit more the shape. General, like humanoid, but like not, Are you
Alright,
confirmed?
nothing I can find confirms the number of Ralsei's fingers.
Okay.
It looks like he has 3 fingers and a thumb. Like this.
That's what I'm saying, but everything I see, either all of his sprites just have him like with a nub hand, because it's easier to draw in sprite form. And,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, the Nendoroid! I can go there! And he just has mitts.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
you can headcanon it now.
yeah. I say he has 3 fingies.
All right. which that works for me.
Okay.
All right. And so Diane responds with, yes. Although it doesn't quite get in the way as much as one would think it would. I see no significant advantage to having more than 3 opposable appendages.
I then show him a cool trick where I can use my scarf as an extra hand. Say, what do you think about that?
Now,
This is filler level shit. We're doing it.
it's quite an interesting trick. And then he pops his hand off,
Oh,
and it can still move.
Fucking terrifying.
that's also a very nice trick.
And he pops it back on.
As I watch this entire thing go down, I just cackle once.
Like that?
Ah, yes. Diane, he's... He's never short on attempting a joke. Alright. So, we're up in town of Oakhurst, and it's a small village at, like, the edge of the Neverwinter Wood, you know? It's not big by any means. There's effectively a small orchard by the town. Like, there's a small orchard that's, you know, off yonder direction that, you know, you can see that's probably their means of production, right? That's probably what they use for essentially to trade with, right? Or rather supply income for the town. Yeah. Other than there's also, you know, general, like, very, like, small town stuff. There's maybe a general goods store. Not much for, like, a tavern or anything, but a small inn that seems to just kind of be someone's house.
Ooh.
If we're being real, it doesn't seem to be much of an inn.
It's very homely.
Yep. However, you do see one house that is seems to be a bit more well constructed. Seems to be a bit more well off, rather. And is the house by the orchard. And that is where Humorous leads you all.
Well,
I'm
I'm
taking
just
a drink.
okay. Just gonna say, well, I'm gonna sit at the cart until instructed otherwise at this point.
Yep. Yeah. So, and he's clearly motioning everyone to follow him.
Well, then I hop down off the cart and follow.
Yeah. He says...
Oh, go ahead.
He says, the contact, as it were, is this way.
I hop down off the cart, and then I reach up in my hand toward Erin, like I'm gonna help her down. Or Tiger, sorry. I say, come on.
As if you're going to help this like 6 foot tall tabaxi in like
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah.
Help her off of a fucking cart.
Yeah.
Play along and let him help me out the car.
Because she is in love with me. Clearly.
You know what? Fuck it. Adam, make an athletics check for me.
Okay.
Oh no.
How do I do that?
Okay, so on D&D Beyond, do you see where it says skills?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all in there. That's all of your, like, whenever I ask for, like, a check, that's pretty much... That's where everything's gonna be, right?
I got a
Let me
3.
check. Let's see here. Just a solid 3,
Yeah.
with your +0 in athletics.
Yeah. Am I gonna die?
And so ends the tale of... No! No.
I was like, come on, I'll help. And then she just crushes me immediately. I don't even get to fight anything.
No, you attempt to help, but... You can see that she's playing along with you, but... Whether it's on her end or your end, whether it's her maybe being a bit too generous with how she's playing into it, or with you overestimating your strength, you are just toppled over onto your back.
Oh,
Fantastic.
that's not that bad.
Yeah, you just fall flat on your back.
Okay.
You take 1 point of emotional damage.
Oh.
Emotional.
Emotional damage is not tracked, by the way, but yeah.
Oh.
You take a hit. You take a small, tiny hit to your confidence, just like, damn it.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
That's actually a flavor from Gamer Subs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's probably because of that fucking video.
I'm pretty sure it's in collaboration with that dude.
Yeah.
Ah, great. Even better.
Yeah. But yeah, you're led to this pretty nice looking house. It's not like... Now, mind you, nice for a small village, right? It's not massive. It's not big. It's big enough for a small family, right? Like, I'd say comfortable enough for a family of 4, right? But probably not much more than that, you know? Single floor, the living room, kitchen, and dining room are basically in the same kind of area, you know?
We go inside, and I say, man, this is a beautiful house. Then we see there's 8,000 children running around. No, I'm kidding. Anyway.
Yes, the 8,000 spider children of Lolth.
Erin's favorite.
Yes.
They all crawl out of the walls excited to see the big cat lady.
And into the armor. No. But it's... Upon entry, you see this frail, probably in her, early 70s, just sort of older woman. Not quite frail.
This is
What the fuck?
unexpected.
Jesus Christ. Not quite
This is
frail, but,
unexpected.
definitely, that older physique, right?
Yeah.
Probably not as strong as they once were in their youth, but not entirely helpless, right? But also not gonna be, lifting up fucking logs.
Or helping Erin out of a cart.
Yeah. Yeah. not helping a 6-foot tall tiger in armor out of a cart.
Yeah.
And let's see here. I all right. I'm just making sure I'm just fine where the name was. And so Chimerus introduces you all to the matriarch of the Hukrell merchant family. Heroin Hukrell. And no, I don't know if I'm fucking pronouncing that last name correctly.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, Hukrell.
Can't really think of any other way you'd fucking pronounce that.
Yeah, it's fancy names. They're great. Yeah. And so
So she's Carowin Hukrell of the what?
the Hukrell merchant family. You've definitely traveled enough that while maybe not having a chance to get on a last name basis with any merchants, you've more than likely seen some of their wares at some point.
Okay.
Especially with the main export of this town being apples.
Hmm.
I love that.
Oh yeah,
Goat?
No, no, Ralsei likes trash. He's a goat. He eats license plates.
and hubcaps.
Whatever those are.
Yes.
Whatever that means.
But yeah.
I see an apple, and I'm very clearly excited about seeing the apple.
Yep.
Are you gonna buy the apple?
Yep.
With the apple?
So
Might buy the apple.
Chimerus says, "This is the friend I mentioned. Her name is Heroin. Heroin Hukrell. She is, well, this family, they're a bit of a merchant family. Mostly for the export of apples that can be found around Oakhurst here. And she's the one that alerted me to the situation to begin with. So, Kerwin Hukrell, man, I do not have an old woman voice. God damn it.
So I would have definitely partaken of her wares before.
Yeah. Maybe not knowing, like I said, maybe not going on the last, I'll let you decide that, getting on a last name basis with a merchant or not. But you've probably, like, it's more than likely, considering how close Oakhurst is to Neverwinter, along with being along the Sword Coast.
Simply say, I think I've had your apples before. I mean, that sounds familiar. I mean, I am quite a big fan of apples, not going to lie.
Well, we try and grow them the best we can here. As well as provide the best prices and transactions as possible. So, I take it Chimerus hasn't told you of the issue as of yet. Unfortunately, nearby here, there's been some unfortunate activity. At first, it started with the orchards. Oh, well, the orchard, rather, with the apple trees. Our apples and the trees themselves were being stolen. I couldn't surmise as to why. But it wasn't simply an animal taking them off. It felt done with purpose. I mean, I don't know of an animal in these parts that would take whole saplings.
Okay, so we're talking saplings, not like whole-ass trees. Just to be clear.
A little
Imagining
bit of
that-
column A, a little bit of column B.
Imagining that in that accent is really fucking funny.
What the?
No, the whole ass tree thing.
Yes, they
Not
stole.
like whole ass trees or anything.
Yes, they stole a tree, dead ass.
Are you capping right now?
No cap.
Oh my god.
No cap on God, for real, for real. Anyway,
What say you, dank meme lord?
Angus Memington.
Yes.
I think
Anyway,
I'm
a fucking pompous dude that talks like a fucking 17-year-old does now.
yes.
Great.
On God.
His favorite snack is a glizzy. Anyway.
I got the glizzy grabbers.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I made Runa retch for a second right there.
I I go up to the. Oh wait, is she done?
Not quite.
Oh, okay, I'll wait for her to finish it.
Yeah. Bit of column A, a bit of column B. It's been a stressor on the whole town. Unfortunately, we also use quite a few of the apples ourselves, but it's unfortunately running scarce on a resource. It started with those, and then, I mean, there's been a couple of bandits here and there. People, you know, probably from Waterdeep, trying to rob us blind just because we're out in the country. It started with led to them disappearing, and then, unfortunately, both of my children have now disappeared.
Oh.
Chimerus interjects and says, "We've tracked them down south, going towards some old ruins, but unfortunately, those ruins are, well, they have a troubled past. It was once known as the Sunless Citadel, once a safe haven for the cult of the dragon. But for quite a while now, it's been reclaimed, quote-unquote, by the world. However, not all of it has been reclaimed. You can still get into it, but it's not quite safe. It's in a bit of a small fissure, a bit of a ravine, as it were. And it seems that's where her twin children disappeared at. Yes. They're not... I mean, they're adults, but they're still my children. Talgin and Sharwin are their names. And I'll put that in here. And I know it's grown to be a bigger concern with some of the Knights of Helm disappearing there. I didn't want any of that to happen. Not again.
What do you mean again?
Well, unfortunately... Well, the reason I know Keemer is here is through my husband. He was a wonderful, wonderful knight with the Order of Helm. But unfortunately, he was found one day by his post, knife in the neck, unresponsive. He wasn't found until the morning. Nobody knows when or who or why, but since then Keemer has he's kept a close eye on us. He's helped us whenever we needed it, even when we haven't needed it.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yes. So you can see why I asked him to look into this matter when my children disappeared. They're the only family I have left. Well, apart from Keemer's. And Keemer's just sort of, is looking very solemn, just sort of breathes out a deep sigh, and says, that is why I brought them. These people here, are willing to go and search for Talgan and Charwin. And hopefully figure out what's going on with, even potentially where anything is disappearing too. Because this town doesn't need any more ill omens or unfortunate happenings around it.
I turn to Carowin and say, you said whoever was taking the apples was taking entire saplings. Do you care if I go... Yeah. Do you care if I go look at the area where some of the trees were taken? See if I can find anything?
Oh, please be my guest. But
Okay.
First off, I'm assuming you're all expecting payment of some sort, yes? Well,
I put on my goody two-shoes act and I say, your smile will be payment enough for me.
what a sweet little thing, but a terrible liar.
What? I've never lied in my life. I'm Ralse, you fucking bitch. I don't say that. That was a joke.
There,
I assure you, I speak only the truth.
well, either way, I have one of two conditions for payment. What I want are my children back.
Uh-huh.
If they're alive, and you bring them back, you will be handsomely rewarded. But if, God's forbid, anything has happened, I just require that you bring back their gold signet rings.
I'll do
They're
my
symbols.
best.
They're symbols of our family.
I'll do my best.
Thank you. And so she proceeds to not hobble, but like trepidatiously walk and
Shuffle.
yep, show you all outside to where the apples and the trees and the saplings have gone missing. And you see the orchard, it's an apple orchard, right? But oddly enough, there's just a couple of missing holes, right? Like a couple of just divots in the ground where there should either be dirt or something in there in place of the dirt, right? And you see just some barrels that you assume had apples in them are just fucking ripped apart, just broken. No, barely any of their contents are still in there. Maybe a few stray apples here and there, but
Fantastic.
Okay. I investigate the divots in the ground first.
all right. Go ahead and roll investigation.
Okay, I got a 10 plus my 2. So 12.
12?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you can definitely tell something should be here.
Good job, Ralsei.
But
Something should be in this hole.
yeah, you see that something should be here. You gather enough that it probably wasn't ripped out. It was probably dug out. By what means you don't know, but you're pretty confident that it wasn't just ripped out.
Okay.
So just by kind of generally looking around and seeing the kind of destruction of the barrels and such, would I just gather naturally that it seems odd that a person wouldn't just take the barrel? That it just seems strange that the entire barrel was destroyed and left, whereas I would imagine a person who would be trying to thieve something would just take the entirety of the barrel.
To make it easier to carry.
Yeah. It definitely gives you the impression that there's something weird going on.
This is
there's definitely something there's something might be a bit more involved here.
I turn to my compatriots here, Tiger and Ralsei, and kind of convey that message, being like, look, okay, so I've seen things here, and knowing my background, you would just take the entire barrel, and to be honest, it's strange that it's just destroyed and scattered like this. So, to be honest, I really don't understand what's going on here, or why this has happened.
I agree. Most people would have just taken the barrels.
That's part of what makes this so odd. Is it just none of it seems to make any sort of sense?
I mean, I've seen war and destruction of just people, getting their kicks, destroying things, but they would have left the apples then in that case, at least I would have imagined. But there's not a single one here. They're gone.
Exactly. And it's, again, it combined with the fact that they're also taking, the trees and the saplings. I can't imagine what's going on.
can I do an investigation check to see if there's like any marks around the area of like where things might have been dragged off or taken to another location, or potentially like track marks, like from a creature or person?
Let's see here. Yeah. Go ahead and make a survival check.
Survival check. Okay.
What?
Well, because you're looking for track marks. You're
Oh,
looking for, and that, like,
Alright.
tracking something, I'd say that's definitely more the realm of survival rather than purely investigation.
okay, that makes more sense.
Natural 20. With
Oh, nice.
plus 3, so 23.
Damn.
Nice. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, you notice that definitely a couple of apples seem to be leading sort of around the... Like, a couple of apples seem to be leading more so towards the direction of where Kimmer's point out the Sunless Citadel was. And there's definitely... You could definitely tell that there's, like, indentations in the ground around where the barrel probably was whole at one point. But you can definitely see what is most likely looks like multiple footprints, but like potentially all like stepped over each other and fused into like bigger clumps.
Right, but they are footprints.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll point this out to the party and be like, well, it looks like that the tracks that lead off towards the direction which we're supposed to be heading anyways. And looks like there's footprints here, which is also concerning. Which means that it might be people indeed.
But also very convenient. I say we follow them.
Do you know what? I honestly have to agree. That's fair enough.
Alright. So,
What is this? Anyway.
Kimmer's looks at you all, and he says, just to the south here. Let's see here. Just to the south off that way. Go down the path a little bit, and that's where you'll find the remains of the Citadel. He says, me, Diane, and I are going to stay here. We are going to stay here sort of at the edge of town just in case. If something goes wrong and comes towards the town, we want to protect as many people as possible.
Fair enough. Would there by chance be another horse and cart that we could borrow, just in case we have to extract Kiruan's children? And maybe a faster transport to get back. If not,
Make a persuasion check.
okay. Let's see, where is persuasion? Okay, it's +1. 8.
8? Alright. He's like, well, I looks at Carowin, and Carowin's like, I mean, we have a small cart and one ox that could probably do the trick.
I turn to her, and with cute little baby puppy eyes, I ask, please allow us to use your ox and cart so that we can do our job to the best of our ability.
Yeah, and she points it out, and it's just like, this like completely like head empty ox and a small cart that is probably used to shuffle barrels between like the nice small like general store and the
About-
the orchard and all
About
that.
how many people could probably fit in the cart?
I'd say probably 3 medium.
Okay,
It's
So-
not that big.
So us,
right.
because Erin's big and I'm small.
Yeah. And of course, there's nothing stopping you from trying to ride the ox either.
Ooh, what would I do? What would I do to convince the ox to let me ride on him?
Animal handling check.
All right, let's do that. I'm gonna go over and attempt to ride the ox.
All right.
Shit.
Well, I got a 3.
Plus 2.
No, total.
Oh, you rolled a 1.
Oh no.
1.
Oh,
Great.
Gentle.
Great.
oh.
Yeah, so the ox most definitely is not ready for you, and it probably isn't used to it. It probably isn't used to being ridden, and it's probably used to being led or commanded, right? And yeah,
Decided to kill
yeah.
you.
yeah, it knocks you just flat on your ass. Take 1 point bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
Watching the spectacle, I laugh again, just cackle.
Oh,
Oh.
Probably 1.
Oh,
If anything, this job's been entertaining so far, just because of you.
oh wait, how do I do different types of damage? Does it matter?
Well, it only matters in terms of like resistances and shit,
I'm
which you don't really have any.
gonna say I think mine's just normal.
Yeah. But like whenever damage is said, it's usually specified what kind of damage it is.
Well, yeah, that's why I was asking if there was
Yeah.
anything special I had to do.
No.
I love the idea that I was like, I got this, guys, and he just goes "Arr!" and flings me out.
Yep. Its head
I
seemed
go,
to be empty, but it
I
was
go, ow, my butt. I don't know. He's stupid. Anyway,
After
Kerwin looks at all of you with a slight look of concern. Now,
I turn to her and give her a thumbs up.
you just see that pensive old woman look with like a deep sigh.
I glance at her and I'm like, I'm sure it will be fine. And then I walk over to the ox and take the reins and hop up on the cart.
All right, and Chimerus says, "Well, best of luck to you all. Hopefully, it isn't much, and we can just get the family back."
I'm sitting on the cart waiting for the other two.
All right.
I get into the cart defeated.
Can I get a card too? Why not?
Your pride damaged further.
One more point of emotional damage.
Yep.
I turn and look over my shoulder at Ralston and say, well, maybe it'll let you ride it on the way back. Perhaps. And then I, crack the reins and start off.
All right.
I ride next to you, lamenting that I just wanted to be the ox's friend. Anyway.
Oh man.
Oh,
You keep trying to pet its butt.
As we ride, I say how much the ox reminds me of my friend Susie.
Jesus Christ.
And then I confuse you all by saying she didn't let me ride on her back either.
Mhm.
Oh.
Great. Great. All right.